Hey guys, this is another unscripted video. I'm just going to talk about the new YouTube channel design. A lot of people want me to rant about this, but, there just isn't much I can say about it that hasn't already been said. There's not much I can add to it. I mean, you look at Kameyabam's Cosmic Panda Debunked video from a few months back, and, while a few of the things he complained about back then have been fixed, like now, instead of that obscure, barely noticeable little plus sign, they did change it to the word subscribe and, make it easier to subscribe to somebody. They have changed a few little things like that, but for the most part, this design still really, really sucks. I just want to make it clear, I do hate this design, but there are just a couple little things about it that I do like. For one thing, I like how my playlists are now much, much more manageable. They're easier to spot, they're easier to go through. You can see the thumbnails are like 4 or 5 videos at a time instead of 3 now. They're all just lined up really, really neatly. Even things like my favorites and whatnot. It's all easy to get to. That is one thing about the design that I actually do like. Another thing I like about it is that my DA page, the link to it, is much, much easier to spot now. It was, impossible to see unless someone made a point of reading through my channel description before. But now it's just right there, and anyone who is curious to see what else I do on other sites, yeah. But anyway, aside from that, I hate, everything else about this design. It just stinks. But, this isn't the first time YouTube has made a point of screwing us over simply for the sake of it, in their efforts to gradually dissolve the U in YouTube and just make a cash cow tube, or whatever. Like the YouTube groups, which, hilariously, now that I think about it, they were a day late in updating the new channel design, and they were also a day late in closing the YouTube groups, which gave us a little extra time to enjoy those things, but it still just sucks that they took those away. I really love the YouTube groups. They were a great source of interaction. It was something that made the site really special. It just gave us a greater means of intelligent conversation instead of just the comment section of videos. And I really miss those forums because, you could talk to a lot of people and share ideas, or you could just, talk with a small circle of friends. But those things are gone now. And this is just another thing YouTube is... Well, I'll get more into that at the end of the video. There's still a couple other things I want to talk about. One thing I really hate is that the sub count is at the top, and that is in bold numbers. And, for some people it's a symbol of pride, but it absolutely should not be. I'm beating a dead horse here because a lot of other people have already said this, but for those who still don't understand, your sub count is not a reflection of talent or substance or content. It's a reflection of circumstance. You just happen to have that many people subscribe to you. You might not be able to access a lot of people. But, a lot of people, a lot of really, really shallow people, they're going to look at these and they're going to use the sub count to judge a person because it's placed at the top, and they're going to think that this is actually important somehow. And they'll go to a person's channel, if they get into an argument with somebody, but they can't come up with a decent counter argument against this person, they're just going to go to their channel and they're going to look at their sub count and be like, that person only has 2,500 and something subscribers. They aren't worth my time. You have no talent. You're worthless. You're just jealous that these other people have more subscribers than you. It's just made it more of a contest to see who can scrounge up the most of these and who can get the highest numbers. It's like a ranking system on a leaderboard on a video game, and it's stupid. It was already like that, but now it's even more like that. And it's just an aesthetic thing, it's just a visual thing, but when people see those numbers, they're going to think that they matter somehow. And I hate that. I hate that they're enforcing that and propagating it. They're just not being subtle at all. Okay, another thing, petitions. There are a lot of people wanting to, start rallies and convince YouTube to change back to the old design. And, they got all these petitions, you got all these little groups on Facebook and whatnot, but here's a problem. There are too many of these groups, and they're all too small. They only have a few people each, or a few hundred at most. And everyone wants to be the leader of this movement, but no one is willing to work together to coordinate this effort, to be unified and all that. Google, they're not going to look at all the masses and masses of people who, are divided like this. They're just going to look at each little speck. They're going to look at these sparse groups. Well, not sparse. Okay, just all these little groups of these few people each, and they're going to think, they're just insignificant. Because we are insignificant to them, unless we can band together, unless we can really unify ourselves. But that doesn't look like it's going to happen because nobody's going about it the right way, and I don't know what to do about it. And then, the people like the Archfiend. A lot of people are saying, oh, just you wait, Google. In a week or so, I bet, people like the Archfiend are going to have enough, and they're going to leave the site. But no. I'm not going to say guys like him and Kemiabams are actively supporting the new channel design, but they're tolerating it, they're coping with it. They've been using these channel designs for weeks and weeks now. I'm not going to say they're okay with it, but, they're accepting it. So if they're accepting this, I guess that's it. There's not much we little guys can do. But anyway, one of the things that I hate most about this new design is, one of the things that I loved about my old channel was being able to talk to people on my channel. There were my videos, but then there were also the channel comments. And people loved using my channel as something of a little forum. There were like 5 people who did it, then 10 people, and then 15 people. It looks like they were going to be 20 people soon. And they were mostly friends or my biggest fans. And every time there was something interesting, they'd all just talk about it back and forth, and I joined in on the conversation. And that was the most gratifying thing about being on this site. Not the numbers of people who follow you, just being able to interact with, these people. And it was really, really great. But no, like the groups, they've gotten rid of that. Now you have to click on like 4 things to go to somebody's feed, and then the comments where you can't see them, and everything is just so much less accessible now. It's such a pain to have to do that. People aren't going to have discussions on my channel anymore. They're not going to, start intelligent conversation because it's such a pain to have to do that. All because of these aesthetics. And I hate it. I miss the blue of my old channel. I miss seeing what people had to say and being able to talk with them. It just made this whole experience on YouTube a lot more fun and a lot more gratifying, and now that's gone. Yeah, thanks YouTube. That's what made this experience really special for me, but like everything else, they're just dissolving the U in YouTube. And the more this goes on, I have to wonder if TJ's kind of got the right idea. We need a site like Not Productive. Regardless of what you think of him in particular, we need someone to make another site to replace YouTube, just like Facebook replaced MySpace, We need a site where we can all go to that isn't governed by, money or whatever, that doesn't get bought out by a company like Google. They just find a template that works for everybody, and then they stick with it, and we're not governed by things like sub-counts and whatnot. But even that is a stretch. We're all gonna just sit here and take it. And even if we do resist, YouTube isn't gonna do anything to change their ways. But I actually can't wait for them to update the channels again. I can't wait for the next update because hopefully they'll get the idea that people don't like this kind of aesthetic, and hopefully they'll switch some things for back to the old design. Or they'll actually make things worse, who knows. Either way, I'm pissed off and just disheartened by what I've lost. Because it's just one of the things I loved most about being on YouTube, and now what is there? Just view counts and sub counts and whatnot. It's just a popularity contest, now more than ever. Anyway, toodles guys, that's all I have to say. I hope you got what you wanted out of this video. Fuck you YouTube, fuck you Google. You're just stupid.